Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're continuing on the Unearthed Arcana series that we started last time, talking about the Artificer. We missed the Artificer in the brand new Player's Handbook, but Wizards of the Coast have released an Unearthed Arcana related to the Artificer, specifically talking about the changes to the class that they plan on bringing. Now, obviously, Unearthed Arcana isn't official, and all this stuff is subject to change, but my community spoke out and said they wanted me to review it, so here I am. Today we're covering a subclass of the Artificer, the Alchemist, the Potion Brewer. The Alchemist is one of those things that when it was initially brought out with the Artificer back in Eberron and in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, they were considered the weakest of the Artificer subclasses, and they needed a good buff. And Wizards of the Coast have made some changes. Let's talk about those changes in detail. Before we get into it, though, I'd like to let you know, Relaxed Fantasy Review has memberships. For just $1 a month, you can support me here on YouTube and get a couple benefits. First, you get a little badge next to your name in the comments, letting folks know that you're a supporter. But also, you get early access to my videos. I upload videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I upload them a day early for members only. If that interests you, you can click the join button. It's just down there next to the subscribe button. I'd love to see you in the comments with your member badges. And if it doesn't interest you, that's totally fine too. Just watching the video at all, liking, subscribing, all that stuff that costs nothing, is a wonderful way to support me. So thank you for watching my content here on YouTube. So, the Alchemist. You choose your subclass at level 3, like everyone else does, and you get a couple things right off the bat. Firstly, you get proficiency with Alchemist tools. Alchemist tools allow you to create things like Alchemist Fire or healing potions or things like that. If you already have proficiency in that from your background or from the base Artificer, you can choose any other tool you like. So, yeah, Bob's your uncle there. You also can brew potions in half the normal time. According to the Player's Handbook, it takes 8 hours of work to brew a healing potion. I guess now it takes 4. This is fine. This is solid stuff. A tool proficiency, which you get to pick if you were smart with your starting choices. Yeah, I say this is 9 out of 10. You also get a expanded spell list of always prepared spells. And there's some good ones in here. You've got Healing Word, you've got Mass Healing Word, you've got Raise Dead in there. You've also got some offensive spells. Ray of Sickness is in here, so is Vitriolic Sphere, Cloud Kill. Yeah, I think this is a solid list of both offensive and defensive options, and I say it's worth an 8 out of 10. Finally comes the Experimental Elixir, and this is the real selling point of the subclass. When you finish a long rest, you get a pair of experimental elixirs, 2 bottles of them. This number goes up as you level up an Artificer. They do a random effect based on the roll of a d6 on a table. The effects vary. You can get a healing potion, which does 2d8 plus your intelligence modifier and healing. You can get a potion that gives you a d4 to your attacks and your saving throws for a minute, so that's kind of like Bless. You can get a 10-foot flying speed. You can get a +1 to your armor class. You can even, if you roll a 6 on the d6 table, you can pick whatever effect you like from the table for your experimental elixir. The only real problem is that those experimental elixirs that you get when you finish your long rest, you don't get to choose them. Any creature can use a bonus action to either drink the elixir or give it to someone else, so they're easy to use. And if you want a specific elixir, one that you choose the effect of, you can spend a spell slot and, with an action, create one. So if you wanted to spend all your spell slots on just making healing potions, making potions of flight or defense or whatever, then you can do that. It is absolutely an option. Whether this is the best use for your spell slot is questionable, but all these effects do not take concentration, so, casting the fly spell gives you a much faster flying speed, but it takes concentration. Casting Bless can affect 3 creatures instead of just the one that's drinking the potion, but it takes concentration. These effects all stack with anything that uses concentration, and only take a bonus action to use the potion. So, 8 out of 10, I say. It's nice that you can use these effects concentration free, but the fact that you have to use your spell slots or rely on the random table to give you what you want, I mean, it's unfortunate. None of them are bad. The worst one, I'd say, is the healing potion. And when a 2d8 plus, 3 to 5, that's like 12-ish points of healing. If that's the worst thing that this is giving you for free, I mean, I'm not going to complain. It's a shame it doesn't scale. The only scaling is that as you go up in levels, you get more of them. So I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 for this. I think that it'd be nice if you could just make some for free and then spend your spell slots to make more, and it wasn't random. It's the randomness that kind of takes away from it. At level 5, you get 3 experimental elixirs when you finish the long rest, and you get another power called Alchemical Savant. This says that when you use your alchemist supplies to cast your spells, because you can use your tools to cast your spells as an artificer, you can add your intelligence modifier to several of them. You can add them to healing spells. So healing word, will do 2d4 plus 2 rolls of, or rather 2 times your intelligence modifier, which is a decent little boost. And it can be added to the damage of your damaging spells if they do acid, fire, poison, or necrotic damage. Considering that firebolt and poison spray and acid splash are all on the artificer list, this just means you get to add your int modifier to your cantrip damage, or any other damage that you do with these kind of leveled spells. I think that's solid. A damage and a healing boost? I'll say 9 out of 10 for that. Level 9, you get 4 experimental elixirs when you finish a long rest. And you get something called restorative reagents. What this means is that any creature that drinks one of your experimental elixirs gets temporary hit points equal to your artificer level plus your intelligence modifier. If your intelligence modifier has been maxed out by this point, and it's a 20, and you're level 9, that means that with a bonus action, a creature can get one of the effects of your elixirs and 14 temporary hit points. And considering you get 4 for free and can use your first level spell slots to make more of them, I'd say that this is actually a very, very reliable source of temp HP. On top of that, you can also cast Lesser Restoration a few times per day for free without using a spell slot, which is a really nice support spell to have. So temporary hit points, quite a few of them, and Lesser Restoration. Not bad for level 9. I'd say 9 out of 10 again. Finally, level 15, you get 5 experimental elixirs when you finish a long rest. So that's, a nice amount of temp HP and little buffs that you can hand out. And you get a feature called Chemical Mastery. Once per turn, you can add an extra 2d8 in damage to your acid, fire, necrotic, or poison based spells. So again, if you're using cantrips, let's just say you're using Firebolt. At this level, you'd be doing 3d10 plus your intelligence modifier, and now you can add 2d8 to it. That's solid. And if you are firing multiple spells off, like with a bonus action of some kind, you can only do this once per turn, but that's still an extra, 9 or so damage every turn, which isn't bad at all. You also get resistance to acid and poison damage, 2 very common damage types. Level 15's a little bit late for damage resistances, but I'm still happy to see them. And finally, you can cast Tasha's Bubbling Cauldron, a brand new spell, which allows you to get a number of common or uncommon potions equal to, I think it's your intelligence modifier, so 5 in that case. You get 5 potions that you can draw out of the cauldron, and then the cauldron disappears. This is a really powerful 6-level spell. Artificers don't normally get that. So yeah, extra damage, damage resistances, and as many common or uncommon potions as you are making experimental elixirs, not including the ones you're making with your spell slots. You're going to have potions everywhere. Uncommon potions don't break the game. There's a lot of damage resistance potions in there, a few spells in a bottle, like you drink a potion that you can use to hold your breath, like bottled breath, and then you can blow gust of wind out, or fire breath or something like that. There's some cool options here. I think water breathing's one of them. I'm not 100% certain. But nothing game breaking, especially at level 15. But having them is still nice. I think that when you combine all these things together, 5 experimental elixirs, extra damage every turn, damage resistances, plus a bunch of potions for free, this is 10 out of 10. We've reached a point where we can call the Alchemist 10 out of 10. It's a shame it came on so late, but you're still getting some decent scaling throughout. Always getting more elixirs every few levels, adding extra damage, extra healing, temp HP. The experimental elixirs would be better if they scaled a little better, but they're never going to be useless. I mean, if they do nothing more than just give you some free healing potions every morning, all right, you're going to use that. That might save you a couple hit dice on a long rest. The Bless effect is never going to be bad. The Flight effect will be nice for any creature that doesn't get like flying magic boots or something like that. The AC buff is never going to be bad. These are all things that will actually be kind of cool. And I think that's what the Alchemist is. It's kind of cool, and it gets some powerful features later on. It's never going to be the blaster, it's never going to be the tank, it's the support. This is the support Artificer. This is the kind of Artificer you'd play if you were used to playing clerics, handing out healing, handing out temp HP, handing out buff effects. That's where you want your concentration, that's where you want your spell slots going. The Alchemist can do that, as well as anything else that the Artificer is capable of doing with all of their magic items and enchanting. This is the Artificer you're going to play if you're going to divvy out your replicated magic items equally. Because support. Overall, I think they're 9 out of 10. I think they're a solid subclass. I don't think they're underpowered. I think the random effect is the only real negative here, and again, I'll say it, if the worst thing that happens is that my subclass gives me some free healing every day and nothing else, all right, fair enough. By level 5, you're getting extra damage and healing naturally anyway, so whatever. 9 out of 10. Alchemist, I like you. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Have a look for the join button down there, and keep your eyes peeled for more subclass reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.